誰もいないこの部屋のドア閉じる音が響くずっと思い出の中誰も来ないこの街角に佇む人影は聖者の更新を待ってる遠い過去の記憶たどる物語とこて神話語るたと話として願って騒いで狂って誰もなし得ないこの闘争で叫ぶ声が響くそっと耳を塞いで誰も来ないこの街角に佇む人影は英雄の凱旋を待ってる遠い過去の記憶たどる物語は未来遅く語るたと嘘としても祈って託して誓って誰も思い描けない結末を思い出してきっと夢の間違い誰も来ないこの街角に佇む人影は成長の微笑みを待ってる
Yokoso and välkommen. Yeah, it's another day. We're here to play.
拾った希望を掲げてそれは君だけの革命を紡ぐ音が響くずっと憧れていた誰も来ないこの街角に佇む人影はやっと目が覚めた
We're not going to be listening to minimum electric design for this session. I just wanted to hear this song. So I thought, why postpone the eating of a scone? Let's just listen while I still groan. Yeah. There's a restaurant nearby that I'm going to be eating at later today. Which is like after I stream. And they have vegan, it's called the Vegan Melt Grilled Cheese. So it's got sourdough bread, Beyond Burger patty, vegan cheese, onions, tomatoes, and vegan cheese sauce. I want to try that, but I am always so scared to have Beyond Burger like when it's made by somebody else. Because what if that person is just evil and hates people that have dietary restrictions? Get out of here. Why did that video autoplay? Anyway, back to the actual grind. What if they just hate me and then they put evil meat juice on it or something? They think, vegan? And then they kill me. You know? Why is that so loud? So yeah, because of that, I always try my hardest to refrain from having Beyond Burger, but just the idea of a vegan melt, I've never even had a regular melt, but yeah, I had never had a so-called melt before I stopped eating meat. So here's my chance to give it a shot. But I'm telling you, what if they like hock a loogie in it? Or what if they punch me in the nose? What if someone named Frank makes it? Oh my goodness, I couldn't imagine that. Someone named Frank making a sandwich? Please don't do that. That's horrifying. Frank can't handle meat. Yeah, I still have, I think, 1,200,000 points I have to get on this point ladder. So it's not looking hopeless, but I definitely need to get into high gear. But I don't even want to grind on this server today. Today's the JP grind. I'm going to finish the grind in JP is what I'm saying, if you couldn't aspartame the sugar your way into this one. How did this make the blue absorption even? Well, you know what? Hey, whatever. If we hit that 50% crit, Nobu dies. And if we don't, then I don't know. Sucks to be me. I wasn't looking, but I don't think it happened. I would like to think that people in the world aren't so petty as to do something like that, but things happen where, food workers accidentally give someone who ordered no meat. So imagine just going to want to do that on purpose. They easily could. Like that one story that was all over the news some X amount of years ago. It was some British teen, and she had never had meat and was raised vegan her entire life. And they went to, I don't think it was a McDonald's, because McDonald's doesn't have Beyond Meat, to my knowledge. Then again, I haven't had a McDonald's anything since like 2006, so I couldn't even tell you, but maybe it was. Either way, they were at some large restaurant chain, and the girl got a Beyond Meat burger, but when they took a bite of it, it was not Beyond Meat, and they said that it was just like they felt sickened and felt ill for several days to come. Like they took a bite and they immediately knew it was nothing they had ever had before. Their entire life ended right then and there. They just blew up. The wind blew them away, like Stardust Memories, 1983. Well, I doubt it was that severe, but they definitely had their entire life changed. I wonder what happened to them after that. Helena Hot Dog. Yes, indeed. Hello, Björn. You playing games? You game playing? How are you doing today? You surviving? You're not playing, you're watching? Dang. You're on your alt account, your YouTube reactions account. Normally you're a gameplay channel, but now you're going to be a review content channel. You're gonna watch some don't laugh Family Guy funny moments, and you're gonna bust a gut laughing. Oh shoot, I need to try on this shirt that I bought. So I bought a shirt today, and the significance to me buying this shirt is that it was at a clothing store that I went to with the family on Sunday, and I had wished I would have bought it then. But you know, I mean, my parents are okay with me wearing women's clothing, and they're just like, whatever, Celery just does that. But the last time I was clothes shopping with my grandma, she made kind of a fit about me buying women's clothing, despite, you know, me doing it for like the last like 5 or 6 years now. Anyway, she made kind of a small scene, and so I wanted to get it, but I was all like, well, I really don't want to deal with that again. Like, straight up, dog. It's like, not today. I'm full of pizza and French toast. I just want to go home and take a nap. So I didn't get it. So I went out today on the various errands that I had to run today, and I bought it. But I haven't tried it on, so yeah. That's something I need to do. You know, just to make sure it fits and isn't like 9 sizes too big. See, they had a large and an extra large. I kind of like to wear my clothes baggy like a tent, so that one gust of wind can take me into the sky. So I got the extra large, but you know, what if the extra large is too large? I still have the recipe though, so I can take it back, but you know, I'd like to get these answers sooner than later. There's something on my mind. Hey, I got a message. Cringe die. It was just the alert that a package got delivered. Did that? Okay, I think the crit hit. I looked away for a second, and I thought wait, did you miss a 90%? And I was gonna explode into space, but it's okay. It's okay. Man, we're gonna lose these buffs, but whatever. Unless old boy is nice and doesn't want to do heavenly tuning. Okay. Alright. Cool. So no heavenly tuning. Now kill. Sometime this week, I'm gonna do the nose to the grindstone grind on this server. But again, today's JP. Of course, after we clear our AP. After we clear our AP, it's JP time for us. You know, I don't. So without any type of buffs, I think Lancelot can get about 50 or 60% from 2 arts crits. Let's try it out. We're not exactly in a bad position right now, so at least, you know, to check the math. So he does this. I'm pretty sure he gets less than 10% from this, like 7 maybe, if that. Okay, 3. Yeah, it is about 60%. Which this wouldn't be a problem if he had his first skill. because then he could have just charged that remaining, but hey, it's whatever. That was for science. Hit Lancelot. That wasn't enough. I like this group. Too bad they died in 2015. Okay, not like actually dead and asleep in a dead, but like they are inactive since 2015, I believe. Do it, Lancelot. Man, I wanna go back in time 17 hours and sleep in. That's an Adventure Time created wish, honestly. It's like Jake, how he's always like when he stretched himself too much in that one episode and he finally got the wish and he's like, I wish for a sandwich. He took a bite and died. Those are the type of wishes I would make. I'd be like, man, I wish I was well rested today. Nice. AP cleared. Not quite an expert time, but hey. Now time to go over to JP and start grinding until we have everything we need. Admittedly, the shop I don't think it's too bad right now. Like, I've kind of cleared a good chunk of it already, so we're not quite up a creek, but you know. We're still in the stream. JP Yawn. Hey, that's where you live. And the Japanese server. That's where you live and die. Catch and fry. Right. Yeah, I just have pretty much... Okay, cool. So just the keys are all I really need to grind for. The keys and towels. Cool. Also, hi, Zaruka-san. Made pretty good progress, huh? At least comparative to what I thought I was at. Yeah, just 800 of those bells is all that's left. And then about... Ooh, I don't want to do the math on those yet. A good amount. So yeah, I'll just farm for the keys. Because that's the last big item that we have to look for. Oh boy. Hephaestian Gaming. Hephaestian? Hepatitis B Gaming? Well, I might not have a choice. Because I have to take someone's Artoria. So, you know. This is why I don't like to try and 3-turn game, because then you start having to rely on other people to have the CEs you need, and they never do. No one ever has a CE you want whenever you need it. It's like, man, I wish this other CE was here, and then instead you just get a Merlin with 2 towels. No! Oh, there it is. Koya. Okay, let's do this. I guess the alternative to what I said is just get good. Get servants that can do it on their own. But like, Hephaestion needs 2 Castoria to do it. You know that one image, and it's of a cat with heterochromia, and the person who made the post, they said a cat with homophobia in its eyes. That image is funny. Really, Happy Tabby crashed the game? Man. Well, that sure was the cat with homophobia in its eyes. I think I'll try out the Beyond Burger thing, that melt that I was talking about, because I really want to try it, but like I said, I'm usually really scared to try things that are beyond beef, because, you know, what if the person's just evil and they want me to suffer? So what they do is that instead of putting the nice vegan-friendly beef, they use actual beef, and I take a bite, and then my head just melts. I'm forever tainted. Telling you, dog, there are people out there that exist solely just to make your day worse. They are out there, and they will find you, and they will make your day worse. I've seen it before with my own 2 eyes. Just terrible individuals who exist and are either just so incompetent at what they're doing that you can't trust them, or they're actually just genuinely evil created characters. And what if I run into one of them? Walmart. Sorry, I was viewing the internet, but now I'm back. Now I'm back. Sweet. Based. Epic. No more orb. Orb? The Orb of Confusion? Man, if he had just hit twice, we would have been in a really good spot. That's not to say we're not still in a good spot. We could have just NP'd again and not have to worry about hitting these crits. which we hit. So hey, whatever works, right? Oh, you know, when I was having my killing time before I had to go to that passport thing, I went to a Walmart, and inside they had orb content, but orb isn't an oddish, because an oddish is round. Yeah, but it was just like a little tiny figure that was probably no bigger than my thumbnail, and it was part of a pack of other grass types for $19. And I was like, man, oddish for an exuberant price? I think I'll have to pass. Then they had another one that was a 3-pack, so they have a 4-pack of figures that had oddish. And then I thought, well, this one's $14, but that's still a lot of money for a piece of plastic the size of my thumbnail. What am I going to do with it? Eat it? Because that's probably what would happen, because I wouldn't realize that it's right there and I just suck it in like Kirby. Yeah. I also went and used the public restroom at the Walmart, and it was terrible. Like, one of the stalls was just like, it looked like it was a hit and run, man. Bro ran in there, had an evacuation of the bowel kind, and just left. Like, the whole place smelled atrocious. Which, I mean, sure, public restrooms normally don't smell that great, but it was just a disgusting sight. It was like, oh my goodness, what's that smell? As I'm walking over to the stall, and then I see that it's just caked. Just like, it's like bro was pooping and, like, got up. Like, they just realized in the middle of defecation, I'm late for my meeting, and they started running towards it. Nasty stuff, man. Nasty stuff. But some brave soul went into that stall and used it. Or maybe they weren't a brave soul, because when I was leaving the restroom, they left without washing their hands. So maybe they were just a disgusting individual who's used to things that are disgusting. Like, how do you poop in public and not wash your hands? At least in your own home, you know, you're just disgusting. But when you're in public, now you're a biohazard. Rinze. Level 120 Nightingale? Level 120 Nightingale a second time? Level 120 Jing K. This guy's pretty awesome, actually. This is just real. Me when my support list is real. Well, at least the first page is real. This song's called Tiger Walk, but instead of it's Tigher. Is it like tire walk then? Is it like just like a voiceless sound like in bot? says like tire. Text message. Bye. So I have now been alerted that the grilled cheese restaurant that I was going to go to later today, that they are apparently out of like half their menu. How does that even happen? Are you not supposed to supply the cheese? Hang on. Hang on. Man, my phone is so slow. I despise it so much. I guess that's what happens when you get a really cheap phone because it still has aux cord support. Hang on. Hang on, I'm still sending text messages. I can do this. I can double team it. Okay, cool. Wait, no, that's not cool. What's my phone? Bad. You even wanted to buy a new one? Yeah. You were saying that like a while ago, and how you were having a hard time playing games and whatnot. But I see you're still stuck in the rut. Balatro? What even is that? I see people talk about it, so I've assumed it's a video game, but that's all I really know. It's like roguelike solitaire. That... What? Listen, I'm glad that people like it then. Roguelike solitaire. Bro said it's like solitaire for two people. Shoots lasers out of eyes. I know that it was really popular some time ago, as in just a few months ago. Then again, I'm just not a fan of card games. I'm really not a fan of video games in general. Like, I've just come to that conclusion again. I've been saying it forever that I really don't like video games, but especially as of late, I have been in a horrible rut of just not liking video games at all. So I need to really take a break from video games for a couple years again. This happens fairly often where I'll just be like, you know, okay with video games for a couple years, and all of a sudden I'm like, bro, I need to just distance myself. And I'm definitely at one of those I just need to distance myself arcs. You still haven't played the games you got on the winter sale? Yeah, but that's normal Steam gamer behavior, you know? It's like that one image where it says my body is a machine that converts Steam sales into unplayed games. That's just normal human behavior, I believe. Normal gamer behavior. I can get away with playing this game because, I mean, sure, this game can be pretty intense when it comes to figuring out how to get some dumb quest to work or something. Just some unnecessarily difficult boss fight. But at the end of the day, all I'm really doing is just like clicking buttons and listening to music. And that's all I really want to do, is usually just watch anime, cartoon, whatever, or listen to music. And I usually just want some evil third thing in the mix so that I can like kind of keep my attention. I do want to play Pokemon Crystal, so at some point we're going to get back on that. Hopefully after we finish this grinding. I've wanted to do it a few times, but I've gotten really close. But yeah, laugh all you want. But I started watching hit anime for women, Black Butler, and you know what? I actually kind of really like it. So that's where all of my time's really been going, is watching that. Good old Shitsuji. You could buy a new PC for the price of a phone. Yeah, that is pretty nuts. I mean, it makes sense, because you normally pay for a phone over the span of a couple of years, right? Like, you make like a monthly payment. So I could actually see that. A gaming computer can only cost like $1,000. You know what I mean? That's still a good amount of money, but the computer that I bought, which was pretty good for the time, 4 years ago, it cost me about $1,000 to get all the pieces. Okay, the computer itself didn't cost that much, but between the computer, my 2 monitors, the keyboards, and all my peripherals, that's how much it ended up running me. So yeah, if a phone costs like $1,500 or $2,000, then yeah, definitely. Like, what's more important to you, the hit new iPhone or playing Fortnite at 900 frames per second? You know what I mean? Wait, new phones, new computers. Did you ever get your internet situation fixed? I'm gonna ask you that every time I see you until you eventually do it. No. You play phone games on your PC? Yeah, same. Me when I buy the best computer that I could figure out to buy in 2021. Games that I play. Game optimized for cell phone. Pokemon Crystal. And Crystal's not even being played on emulator. I'm using an actual 3DS with a capture card. So like I could have honestly have just gotten a laptop and saved myself like $1,000 some bucks. But hey, it's whatever. I like having the option to where if I wanted to ever play some super high graphically intensive game, I could. I had kind of thought that if I bought a good gaming computer that I'd want to play more games since I would have the option to, but you know, that really didn't happen. I still just play the same games. They just look a lot crispier now. As of late, I've been in the process of rebranding my YouTube channel. And I bet you're thinking, rebranding? Yeah, like, there's a lot of old videos that I have. And I've just been trying to, like, I'm not really deleting them. I'm more just making them unavailable. What's it called? Unpublishing them or whatever. So they're still there if you have a direct link to them, but, like, average Joe Scruffy can't just go to my YouTube channel and see it. Mostly because, like, sorry, a YouTube video started playing. You wanted to play a specific game, and then you got the PC, and you don't even play it now? Yeah, like, honestly, that's what happened to me, too. There was a Toho fan game that has, like, PlayStation 2 looking graphics, and my laptop couldn't run it without screaming and crashing. So I was like, okay, I want to play this game. So then I bought this whole... that's what motivated me, was that there. I was like, okay, there are games out there I want to play, and I can't. I'm going to get a better computer. So I did. And then I played the game once over, and then I thought, man, I never want to play this game again. Like, it was just super repetitive and not fun. At first, it was fun, and it was really cool because I couldn't play it, and I was just like, man, it's probably, like, super expansive and awesome, and I could, like, fantasize about what I thought it might be like. But then, you know, once I actually played it, I was like, man, there's still, like, 2 more routes I can get. I never want to turn this game on again. Tragic, like, facts. But it's tragic in a really funny way, less tragic in a tragic way. Or at least that's how I feel. I still think this is an amazing Final Ascension art. Like, they really cooked. They gave Arash some of the most perfect just Final Ascension art ever. Bro just looks awesome. Anyway, back at the grind. Arashi. Three belts. Yeah, he's like a Guilty Gear character. However, Dante is the ultimate Guilty Gear character. I didn't realize that was his first ascension with those belts that he has all over him, looking like an actual Guilty Gear character. I thought that was the second ascension. No one would ever care to roll from him if they knew that's how he looked. So that's why they use his second ascension, to show us off. Sorry, I'm using the internet, but also trying to keep focus at this. My attention span has gotten really bad as of late. I don't know what changed. I thought it was already pretty bad, but it feels like I can't really do anything for more than maybe... That's the wrong one. I can't do anything for what feels like more than maybe like 15 minutes. At least before I felt like it was around 30. But nowadays I'm like, I gotta go and mess with something real quick, and then I blow up. When I have to go on long drives, I tend to listen to music that sounds like this. I'm glad I managed to find more content that sounds like it. I don't know what the specific genre is called, but the genre of the other albums that are in here are synthesizer. This one doesn't lean as heavy on the synth though, so I don't know what one would call this. But yeah, I have I think it's going to be around 5 hours now worth of content once we add these in. You survived? Kill. Nice. Well, shoot. Man. Level 120 Oberon. Me when I'm an evil fan. We can send a friend request. Low chance they actually accept. Lancelot apologist? Nah, there's no apology to be had here. If you consume the media as to which crime was committed, it was not a one-sided act. It takes two to tango, baby. It takes two to tango. Also, if you read the original story of Lancelot, Guinevere is in her 50s, like late 40s, early 50s. She is, like, I don't know how to, like, she's described as, despite being old, she still has like a youthful charm to her. Yeah, yes, real hag content. And Lancelot was like freshly turned 18 when he met her. And it was really only a problem because they were afraid of what the other people, you know, were saying. Like, there were rumors spreading around. So they're like, yeah, sorry, dog. You have to die now. Twin sister? Do you mean that person that just happened to look identical to Guinevere that came and caused that whole commotion? And then King Arthur was all like, well, you know, I can't say that I can say that that's not my wife right there, but I don't know. Because that arc was kind of annoying. Bro's just like, I can't not say this isn't my wife. And they're like, what are you talking about? He's like, you know, I just can't not say. I see. Yeah, can't say that the telling that I read had that character in it. Although the one that I read was actually like the original one from the 1200s, the one that has like Gale Hawt as being a main character in it before he was removed. So like that's also not the one the Fate Grand Order bases their Lancelot off of. They base it off the retelling of that one that removed Gale Hawt. Make Bedivier young. You know, being honest, Bedivier really didn't even show up in the story with the one that I read, at least. He's in his 50s. See, that's just real. They let us know that he's supposed to be old by making his hair gray. So then we could be like, oh yeah, see, he might not physically be old, but you can tell he's supposed to be old. Look at that gray hair. No, see, you said it right the first time. The war against war. He was out there with a picket sign saying war is bad, down with war. The peaceful protests, and then he was killed. Oh yeah, you know, just one of those like, hey, you do it, and it's like, homie. It's like, yes, you Bedivier, and it's like, oh, I mean, you can call me that, but sure. Kind of like what happened in Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans when that one lady, who I don't remember her name, but the one that had that wore the dress and had like the ornate like eye painting, how she thought that she was talking to McGillis, but it was actually her cousin, and then he just pretended like he was, so that she could pass in peace. Kind of like that. So what you're saying is that it's the reverse of Lee Shiwen's only one strike. This one's, you know, one strike, but it feels like 7. See, you say that, but there's no way that Bedivier could ever be a Lord of Joyous Guard. Hang on, I'm doing like 6 different things right now. I had to do some phone stuff, but now I'm back. Yeah. He just sounds like a butler, really, when you give him those 3 achievements. Achievements and achievement. A Jeeves created character. Okay, I've done it. I just saw 3 images that I wanted to put into the Discord server, and I just had to allocate where each one went, and that just took a second. I get you, just a real warden of sorts, but like the super warden, as you're doing 9 times the normal warden behavior. Oops, I meant to grab the Lancer one this time. My fault, original gangster, my fault. Yeah, there's this chord right there, that chord. I really want to buy the 10 volume set, the old French Arthurian Vulgate and post-Vulgate set. But I don't want to spend $400 buying those 10 books. And it's not like there's a digital copy you can read, because the publisher of that is just an evil individual that does not want to digitize the books and wants to keep them locked behind that big paywall forever. But I would like to read it. It's just, again, I just told you why. Like, I haven't. Listen, once I have some bread, once I have some guap, once I have some greenbacks, so to speak, I'm probably still going to wait a couple of years, and then I'll do it. So, for the most part, most of my reading knowledge comes from Lancelot and the Lord of the Distant Isles for my Arthurian understanding. Oh yeah, the dapper dandy individual one. I mean, that's a good reason to be upset. That outfit's the coolest one. Ask you me. You're a Nord. Well, see, I want to be a Nord VPN as well, but I don't know. Like I said, if I'm going to get into it, I want to read the actual like Vulgate and post Vulgate saga, those 10 volumes. Like, I want to read that, but it's just a lot of money. Money makes the world go round. Unfortunately, listen, I just don't have any bread because I've been on and off unemployed for the last 2 years. So, once I can get a bag, well, actually, once I can find a profession, then I can start seeking getting a bag. But hey, I got that job interview tomorrow, so we'll see how it goes, right? Now, no one cast a curse at me because I want to get this job because it's really close to my house. Like, I could walk to it within maybe 15 minutes. And you know, I live out in the middle of nowhere, so that is really, really impressive. Any other job I'm going to go for is going to be like a 20-30 minute drive. But this one, just like general store, is really close by. And they called me for an interview. I applied at them when they first opened 6 years ago. And they didn't, pay any mind to my application. But now they've paid mind to it. And, I gotta secure this bag. Not the aggravating evil moment. It might be over for me. But it might not. We'll see. I can't wait to tell them that and be like, yeah, man, I actually live, like, relatively really close by. I will never be late. You can count on me for anything. And then they're going to strangle me to death, and I'm going to be like, dang, I've been strangled to the death. I just got an email from this job here. And, okay, it's not like they told me something like, hey, dog, we're hiring you. So they just sent me something like an email saying, hey, man, can we text you about your job application? So I said no, as one does. And then they said, okay, well, by selecting yes, we're going to be texting you. And I'm like, wait, no, I selected no. And there was no way to, I backed up and I clicked no again. And it still told me, well, by selecting yes, you're going to get text messages from us. So, I don't know, dog. That's kind of cringe. A thing like death won't stop me. Dying to death from getting killed will not be enough to prevent me from getting billed. Well, as long as the bill is something I can handle, that's okay. Illusion choice at its finest. Yes, actually. It's like that one image, what was that, during the Olympics when they were being held in Brazil, and there was a trash can that had recycling, and then it also had just non-recyclable, but then when you lifted up the lid, both sides just went into the same bag. There was no actual recycling. It was just all going to the landfill. Landfill. But what if the land is filled with jelly? What if beneath our feet is delectable cream filling? What kind of job? Do you mean the one I'm going to tomorrow? The one tomorrow is just like a clerk, stocking shelves, checking people out when they want to buy something. Kind of like what I did when I worked at Walmart 6 years ago. Just for a different company. Oh, this is the last track on this album. No! Other jobs I've applied at, though, have been more, like, phone content, like what I normally do when I go for jobs, but, you know, if I can get this one that's just like a hot skip and a jump away, not even a hop, skip and a jump, but a hot skip and a jump, because the ground will be magma, and I have to jump on each foot. Also, I really can't do a work from home job in my current living situation, especially since sometime this year there's going to be doing all that construction on the house or whatever. So, like, it'd be kind of hard to do customer service over the phone when someone's actively drilling or something. It's like, sorry, sir, I got to put you on hold for a second while this guy tears out a steel beam above me. You know what I mean? We're kind of entering the unknown future arc here pretty soon. Because once all that construction stuff starts once all this construction stuff starts taking place, I'm not certain if I'm going to be able to stream for like 6 months. And if I do, I'll have to stream without a mic, which I guess isn't that big of a deal, but it'll be a change of pace. You know what I mean? That's my it's a change of pace scream. This song goes really hard. I want you to know that. Listen here, there's a lot of things that go hard, but you gotta admit, I don't care who you are, this song goes hard. I can't wait until it is consistently warm. Like, it'll be pretty warm, but then it'll all of a sudden be like -2. Like, unironically. Luckily, though, it looks like for the rest of this, okay, never mind. So today it's 17 degrees Celsius, but tomorrow it's going to be 9 with a cold of -6. So, you know, warmest 9, coldest -6. But then the next day it's supposed to be 17, and the next day 17 with colds of 1 and 0. It was supposed to snow today, but instead it was just really, really windy. I know you love when I talk about the weather, so I just had to tell you. You were just dying to know. You were just dying for pie. And what, was I supposed to stab you in the eye? 'Cause I can if you want. And see, when I say it's been windy, I don't mean like, oh yeah, man, it's a little windy. No, it was like 55 kilometers an hour wind. Like, it is really, really windy. Like, don't go outside levels of windy. And yeah, so you just don't go outside when it gets this windy. Simple as. Simple as. Oh boy, one more to go. Yeah, we're still really just at the key deficit here. We gotta get into that key gaming, dog. Key gaming. but not like Studio Key. Wait a minute. Nope, nothing for me here. Nice. Oh yeah. Yeah, so on the side, as a bit of a side hustle right now, I've been privating more of my YouTube content, but it's just hard to determine what I want to keep like, public and what not. Because I honestly could just make it all private except for like 3 videos and that'd be fine. Which is what I want to do, but part of me is all like, but Squidward. I'd like to eat a biscuit. Just one single biscuit. Also. I'm no longer going to that grilled cheese restaurant later today. Instead, I'm just gonna go to this pasta place. Pasta-rific, if you will. I'm not usually a big fan of pasta. Not because it tastes bad, but just if I have to pick out of like one carb-heavy meal or the other, I'd rather go for something that has rice in it than noodles. Alright. Actually, I'm counting on you this time, Hephaestian. Hepatitis. Hefu-chan. Hefu. Oh, nice. Now hit 1 crit. That's okay. Because you still killed them anyway. Yeah, so like I said, I've been watching Black Butler lately. I've only watched the first season and I think 4 episodes of the second season. I understand the second season's not canon, but I kind of really like it. It's a lot goofier. Someone on the internet said the second season's just something for the fangirls, and I must be fangirls because I like it. I also heard that after episode 15, the anime just starts doing its own thing. I don't at the moment plan to ever read the manga, but I guess that's good to know. I might though. From what I understand, Black Butler's been on hiatus for some time now as they're preparing for the final arc of the manga. So I guess now might be a good time to catch up so I can be there for the end of days. You know what I mean? Just tap in at the end. You know, this whole grinding ordeal has taken significantly less time than I thought it would. I mean, we're still not even halfway there, but, you know, we've made a lot of progress in about an hour. I keep getting stuck in this loop where it's pretty cold inside the house, but whenever I go outside, it's always nice and warm, and I think, man, I could have worn shorts or something. But hey. Hit him with that. It's something, alright. Mr. Krabs, I'm feeling something, alright. Oh, what? No damage. Oh, I forgot to do that. That's why. Well, GG. So no crit. So Castoria's dead? Look everyone, it's Tamamo. Okay, cool. I was kind of worried that we were going to have to eat that attack. I don't remember if it's area of effect or not, but it would have definitely done some damage. Oh, this album is 9. So, okay, so the cover of this says Apple Tree, and it says 2011 Atrial Electric Rock? Electrock? I think it's supposed to be like, so it's ATTRI, so Atri, and then it's like electric? No, Electrock. Electrock? I don't know. Anyways, Bad Apple arranged and remixes 9 apples, 9 tracks. The truth hides in a lot of lies if I choose one apple and eat. That's cool. Nice. The song's pretty nice. It's not at all what I would have expected given the other couple of songs, but that just makes it taste even better. Trey G Apple. That's funny. Jeez Louise, what's with all these L's being taken? I look away for 3 seconds, and this is what I see. Hooray. Honestly, all I really need is the saber one. Of course, it wouldn't hurt to get them all, but that's really it as far as necessary evil goes. Did I do my free summon for the day yet? Speaking of necessary evil. Nope. Okay, cool. Oh, back to the old grind. Please, I need keys. I guess I could change this around, because that's really the only one I need. These other ones I'll be able to get just by grinding for keys. And we can just take anyone that can give me a key or two. Iron Valiant 39. Did you go and commit some type of crime? No. I see. You went on a walk and you saw that cat. Oh yeah, well the existence of a cat implies the existence of a mammal capable of flight that would be called a bat. Again with a tonal shift as far as songs go from A to B to C to D. I would not have expected this to be the next track. So far it's not bad though. Almost has an artcore type vibe to it, but not really. You know, if maybe I had never heard artcore in my entire life, I could say this has an artcore vibe to it. Okay, sweet. I'm gonna check the internet about something real quick. The internet. Let's see here. Okay, cool. I just wanted to see what the big guy was dropping, the 4-star veteran waiter. So yeah, they do drop mirrors. I don't think I really need them though at this point, which is a little unfortunate because at one time I was really in need of them, but hey, what you gonna do, right? What you gonna do? Well, see, look, there's one there. If I had just waited 5 seconds, evil bot, die. Man, I just really hope that after maybe a couple more apples, we'll be pretty much done. Mostly because I don't like having to spin so many, but I guess we get so many now. You get 30 every event, or more like 28, however many you get every event, whatever. 20? Drug emoji, you get some amount every event, and it kind of makes up for what you consume, but still. I fear falling to my doom. Having to eat a broom. As seen in the wizard episode of Adventure Time, when Finn was tasked with eating a broom. Nice. And we got 10 whole crit stars. That's like 10 crit stars. Oh yeah, I talked about it earlier, but when I was hanging out at that Walmart, I saw that Oddish figure, there's more just like an oddish like thumb weight, like it was just so small. But I also saw they had a tiny Jigglypuff plush, which was kind of cute. Was I gonna buy it? No. Was it fun to see? Yeah. Cool to see, not to own. You know, like those Play-Doh commercials from around 10 years ago, how they'd be like, Play-Doh, fun to play with and not to eat, you know what I mean? It was like that. Haideran-san, konbanwa, genki desu ka? Nani shitteru no? Well, I'm glad to hear it. The last time I went to California, and I got super high that I died, but that part aside, I went to this restaurant called, Nanimo nai? Honto. Tabete iru no? Haideran-san wa yoku, tabemasu ne. It feels like anytime I'm talking to you, you're eating. You're not eating right now. I mean, I wish I was good at Japanese too. I kind of failed on that last one. I forgot what I was trying to say. And just kind of like missed the jump. But yeah, I feel like whenever I ever talk to you, you're always like, yeah, bro, just having a good meal right now. It sounded good enough. Well, that's reassuring to hear. I was faking it until I made it. You do have a coffee? Well, that's something. You're eating your liquids. Some protein pewter. Understandable, understandable. Yeah, just straight up, just powder. It's like, man, this protein shake just kind of tastes like protein. And then you look at the cup, and it's like, oh, just doing the cinnamon challenge, but with protein powder. I never did the cinnamon challenge when that was the popular thing to do. No particular reason, it just never really seemed like something I wanted to do. I was like, hey, I mean, I'll pass, you know what I mean? I like that one video, you know, the Pharaoh's Curse video, where the guy, he puts it in his mouth, and he just coughs it up, and it looks like he's coughing up, like, sand. You know the one, the Pharaoh's Curse. Hang on, I went to go and see if I couldn't find that video. And it's looking like I can't find that video. I managed to find a GIF of it though. I can show that to you real quick. This one right here. Of course it's on Reddit, so excuse the Reddit. But yeah, this. That's how I'm not trying to be, honestly. Although it's kind of funny. Can't lie. A bro had the whole Sahara in his lungs. The other one people use for that meme is that one lady who like starts jumping up and down and, you know, coughs up a bunch of cinnamon. But they usually put it in reverse, so it looks like she's sucking in a bunch of cinnamon. Yeah, the whole King Tut. He had King Tut for dinner last night, and he's coming up. Hang on, I'm responding to Discord message. Alright, cool. We're so back. No need to stage a violent attack. A Discord waifu? No. See, when I said that I was responding to a Discord message, in reality what that meant is I was sending someone a link to a picture of an anime character. I just didn't say that I was sending a message so that I sounded cooler. I'm the one that harasses people. No one harasses me. Which, I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's also the following TheSelleri on social media experience is that all it is just me sending a bunch of pictures of anime characters that I either think or know that X person likes. Oh, I see. Shrug emoji. You are in the Discord server that I have, so you know how it is. You're already a part of it. I don't have any other servers, and I'm not... Okay, I'm in other Discord servers, but... Yeah, no. I don't really talk in them. I'm more just like, there, you're gonna show me. I hope it's a picture of Squidward. What am I doing? Oh, well, I was gonna try and wait, but that's like 8 minutes, so we can just use another apple. A sapple, a silver apple. Hey, sweet. I got an email from GameStop. Delete. One time I applied at a GameStop. Applied at GameStop. And nothing really amounted to it. This was over a year ago. I didn't necessarily want to work at GameStop, but I needed some bread, And I was like, you know what? If I gotta slave away, might as well do it in the dungeon. I miss when GameStop was cool. Okay, now hear me out. Back when they used to have DS and Game Boy games. After they stopped having those, I kind of really don't care about GameStop at all anymore. And every time I go in, I'm just like, man, it doesn't even smell like butt in here anymore. Because you can't tell me that you did not ever go into a GameStop and smell just horrible body odor. That was like half the appeal, you know? You go to the GameStop, you smell a bunch of unwashed, just horrible carpet absorbed just smell, and then you're like, oh my goodness. But then you walk over to where they have the DS stuff, and then I don't know, you buy that one Photoplankton game, and then you think, oh cool, Photoplankton the game, or Electroplankton, whatever that game was called, and then you leave, and then you play it for like 4 hours, and then you return it the next day and say, yeah, it's just not cool. Why? Oh, I didn't click on him. I thought I did. Shrug emoji. I don't know. That was like the most entertaining part about GameStop. Okay, I guess I should take a step back. Being honest, it seems like the only games I liked was like the GameCube era up until like maybe some 3DS. Any video games outside of that time window, I really don't like them that much. Like, I don't know. Like, that was peak fiction, Goatfire, raw swag. And once video game stores stopped having DS, GameCube, and 3DS games, I don't know, they kind of lost my business. At least the ones you've gone to, I see. Well, you know, that's just part of the experience. It's like, I don't know, being really hungry and eating your food too quickly and burning your tongue. That's just a part of the experience, you know? It sucks, but like, hey. Eating those one strawberry auntie candies and not tearing up the roof of your mouth. Like, you know, you gotta have both. You gotta have those strawberry candies, and you also gotta tear up the top of your mouth. It's like left, right, up, down carnival. You gotta have them both. At least there was one specific GameStop, and it was inside of a mall. And a good, what year is it? So, yeah, like 17 years ago. It was like anytime that we went inside of it, it just smelled like unwashed butt. And even if there was no one in there, it still had that lingering odor of just like pit and controller grease and just unwashed body part. You know what I mean? Like, no matter how many people were in there, there was always that smell, and it was like the carpet just absorbed the smell. It was, I don't know, I thought it was funny. It never really bothered me at the time, but I bet if I went into it now and it still had that smell, I probably would just like crawl out on my knees just crying. Like, get me out of here, please. Get in Discord. Alright. Oh, do you mean like hop in like a voice channel? A VC, so to speak? Oh, okay, cool. Which one you want to hop into? You want to hop in the ham? Howdy, partner.
Yo, what up?
Fort and Night. You know what's up.
Alright. So, you know where the direct messages are?
Yeah.
Alright. You gotta click it a bunch of times, but like slowly. Just keep on pressing it until something happens.
Okay. Well, so far, you know, it's just all Fort no Night.
Okay, do it a bit faster then.
Sometimes for a second it looks like my mouse icon's trying to load something, but then like nothing's happening.
I wonder if it's because you're in streamer mode.
You know, that's probably, is it supposed to make like a sound? Because if so, that's probably it.
It's supposed to make a sound.
Okay, then yeah, I bet that's the case. Because I don't get like notifications. I don't hear like a doot whenever someone messages me or anything.
Right. Okay, well that's what, do that when you're off stream or something.
You got it.
Alrighty, I'll see you around.
See you later, alligator.
Alright, crocodile.
Whoa! Doot. That was Haideran-san from Haideran-san Gaming. Let's see, what am I thinking about? Sauerkraut. They had jarred sauerkraut at a store that I went to on Sunday. That's the boy. Yeah, that's you. But the brand of sauerkraut was just called Kraut. Which is funny. You know why? Because Kraut was a slur against German soldiers starting in 1918. I mean, I don't think that it's really one anymore. Like, it's kind of lost its power, but in 1918, the word Kraut was a slur against Germans because of World War I, and then it picked back up in World War II. But now it's just a brand of sauerkraut. It's like calling someone a lily liver, you know? Being called a lily liver, it's like, okay, dude, like, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, it holds no meaning. It holds no weight. That's kind of like what that word's become. At one time, that would have probably got you into a fight in a bar. Nowadays, the person's probably just gonna laugh. Okay, this song's really good. Polish Apple, featuring Aoi. Aoi. Or I wonder if it's Polish, like as in like Poland. Both words are spelled the same. Shrug emoji. Well, everything is swell. Let's check and see how much more grindage we gotta get done. That job interview I have tomorrow, it's not until later in the day, so it's not gonna be like yesterday, how I was like, oh man, I need to make sure that I'm all lubed up and ready to leave at 7 in the morning for my 4 hours of activities in the morning. So at least I have leeway. And you say, is this an event? Yeah, it's the White Day event. White Day. White Day event. The Call Day of Boys campaign. Gonna pick up a box. I mean, it's kind of a warehouse job, but it's more of just like being a clerk. So it's just at a like general store in my vicinity. So it has stocking and unloading trucks in it, but a lot of the job, it seems like, is going to be like Grandpa Jetson walks in to buy a box of macaroni, and then I check him out, and then I go back to like reorganizing the shelves or mopping the floor. Or that's going to happen if I get the job. I've got 3 fingers crossed that I can, do it. Because it's within walking distance, which I can't stress enough is a really big deal. Because I live out in the middle of nowhere. And it's usually 20-30 minute driving to get to anywhere from where I live. But this place is like a 15-20, maybe more like a 20-30 minute like walk away from me. So this is huge if I can actually like go in for the kill. Which I don't see why. I mean, maybe they just don't want to hire a twink of the week. And they think, first of all, you're thin and a good gust of wind is going to blow you away. And then they won't hire me for that reason. But that's like all I can really think of. Because I have experience in dealing with what they want me to do. So like, unless John Warehouse III applies there, I feel like my chances are pretty good. And you don't know how we can live out in the middle of nowhere. Well, see, the thing is that being out in the middle of nowhere, there's usually no interaction with the neighbors. There's no noise or anything, so that's cool. It's generally pretty quiet. And then 2, yeah, I don't know. That's really it. That's really the only good part about living in the middle of nowhere is that there is almost no noise at all, unless we make the noise. And probably cheaper. Yeah. Definitely when it was first, like the house was first built. Nowadays, more people are trying to move out to the countryside, so it's a bit more expensive. But I guess that's a good thing for us, because then that just means the property value goes up. Also, that album's over. We're listening to one called Jam Pit now. It's like an armpit, but with jam. A jam pit. But, yeah, so property value, evil. But when it works out in your own favor, it's like, yeah, property value, let's go. I guess a positive, too, is that I live on one of the few paved roads in this area. Yeah, I bet that sounds weird, but I don't know, you just kind of get used to it. A good 80% of the roads in my area are just not paved roads, so you're just driving on dirt. But the one right around here is paved, thankfully. This area in general is pretty paved. There's a good amount of, you make a left turn and now you're driving on dirt, but a good amount of everything in my immediate area is paved. All the roads that I drive on are paved. It's just if I ever have to go somewhere a bit more out, and then all of a sudden it's like I'm driving in the dirt. It's like living in the mountains. Yes and no. I used to actually live in, the mountains, and the roads were usually pretty well maintained there, just because it gets so dangerous, and if it's not well maintained, you can easily slip and slide and die. Just drive off a cliff. So they usually are pretty good. But yeah, pretty much. It's just the countryside living. Like when I worked at that Domino's, there was a lot of the times where I'd be in actual middle of nowhere. It's like I live in the middle of nowhere, and there are people that were like the middle of nowhere. I'm talking you make a left turn and all of a sudden there's no road and there's just like a bunch of houses really, really close together and then a big patch of nothing and then the same thing again. And when you get out to those areas, people don't really have consistent houses. Like their next door neighbor. So it'll be like someone will have the house and it'll be like house 356 on Spoon Street. And their next door neighbor will be someone who is like, so they were 346. Their neighbor will be like 957. And all of a sudden now they're on like Donut Street. And there was nothing to like signify that it was a different street that you've crossed into. It's just like they live out in the middle of nowhere and just do whatever they want. And it's like, dang, well, whatever. You'd be like, yes, do you know how often that happened? That is like not even a joke. There was times where I would drive for 30 plus minutes one way, and then bro's tip would actually be $2. And they just hand me $2, like they covered in lint straight out of the pocket. And it's like, gee, thanks, big dog. Thanks. My last 2 hours of work are paying for the gas it took to get to you. But whatever. And then those people would always get mad at you, and it's like, really? Like, I don't know what else needs to be said, dog. You live out in the middle of nowhere. Your pizza's not coming in 30 minutes or less, unless you want me to drive faster than the speed limit. And I'm not going to do that. And the weird part is that the Domino's that was in my vicinity, it's still kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but closer to civilization. And people would oftentimes order from that one. And like, they would live in the city, like the city that's about 20-30 minutes away from me. And it's like, why didn't you just order a pizza in your city? There's no way that this one out in the middle of nowhere is cheaper in any way, shape, or form. It's like, you're just being a nuisance. Pretty much, man. It was like, I will admit, it wasn't the worst pay I've ever received ever, but like, it was amongst the worst pay I've ever received ever. Just considering how much gas I had to spend, and sure, the company would rebate the gas, so like, I would tell them, hey man, I drove 100. This happened all the time too. It'd be like, yeah man, according to my car, I drove 115 miles. And I'd get paid for it, sure, but that was like wear and tear on the car that I would have to pay for by losing years that this car is now going to have. You know, I've put damage onto it by having to start and stop it all the time. So like, even if they pay me back for gas, they're not paying for car repair. Life of a delivery person. Yeah, it sucked. Good thing I only worked as a delivery person for 1 month. And then I got COVID, and then I got into an argument with my manager because they're going to try and say, well, I didn't see the doctor note you brought in. And it's like, bro, I was literally there yesterday, fever-ridden and just coming from the doctor all like, here you go, here's my doctor's note, I'm actively dying, I need to go back home. And then they're just like, I didn't see it, die. So then I quit. True story. I used to have something of an arch nemesis when I used to deliver pizza. And it skips something like DoorDash, where it's like your local food delivery service. Before I start telling my story. Oh, okay, cool. A little something, a little food delivery on the side. Might be Canada only. Yeah, most places usually have, like, most countries usually have their own version. Which makes sense, instead of everyone having DoorDash. But yeah, I used to have this one arch nemesis, as I used to call them, because I used to live in a gated community, so it always sucked delivering pizza to them. Because, you know, you had to be like, do-do-do-do-do-do, and like press the buttons. And the first time I had to deliver to my arch nemesis, they told me their address. So I pull up, and then it was really late at night. Like, this is one of my last deliveries of the night. So it was close to midnight. And, you know, I had to call them because I couldn't get in. And I was like, hey, dog, can you give me your door password? And then they're like, oh, sorry. So they give it to me, and I'm like, sweet. So then I go, and then I have their and they didn't leave a tip, you know, delivering a pizza at like 11 o'clock at night, and they didn't give me a tip. So one trick that was, sure, admittedly was kind of evil, but what I used to do is that if someone didn't leave a tip, I would knock on the door and ring the bell. So they had to look at me and sign the receipt telling me that there was no tip. And a lot of the times that guilt tripped people into giving me a tip. Other times they would just still not give a tip, and I think, man, so you are just evil. But yeah, so they didn't give a tip, so I knocked on the door and rang the bell. And they didn't have any lights on in the house either. So I was like, are they even there? So I stood there for a second, and then I knocked again. and no one still came to the door, so I just left it and just walked away. And then I drove by to just like, so they were also in a weird spot. So their apartment was honestly underneath a pair of stairs. So you really had to go out of the way to see it. So I kind of like drove to try and take a look, and they still didn't grab the pizza. And I was like, you know what? If in the less than 10 minutes it took for me to get in through the gate and walk up to your door, you fell asleep, that's not my fault. Like, if you don't get the pizza, that's not my fault. Like, straight up. So then, fast forward, and I get a delivery, and it's to those gated apartments, and I'm like, man, watch this be my worst enemy. And then I start pulling up, and I was like, wait a minute, it is! And it was them, and they did not leave a tip again. And this time, they had said, do not knock on the door, which I thought was really funny. Bro was like, please, don't knock on the door again. The last person who did, they knocked on the door and rang the bell. But I don't know, like, that's just normal pizza behavior. Because people get mad at you if they just get their pizza stolen by birds or something. So you just kind of got to let them know. You get so mad. Yeah. Yeah, understand. Like, it makes sense if you mark on the sheet or like whatever you're ordering from, like the form or the sheet or whatever. If you say don't ring the bell and someone rings the bell, then yeah, that's really annoying. But I mean, if you don't mark it off, I mean, it's free game, dog. Like, you know, it's like. But if you tell them, hey, don't ring the bell, then yeah, it's incredibly annoying. Like, if someone marked off don't ring the bell or marks off contactless delivery, then yeah, definitely I would do that. But if it was just like deliver pizza, then I just deliver the pizza. Don't ring the bell at all. Yeah. Yeah. And even just like in personal life too. It feels like it's more common to text someone, hey dog, I'm here, opposed to ringing the bell. It's what I prefer to do. Like, genuinely, I feel like it's annoying when someone rings the bell. Again, it's funny because I was just saying how I used to do that, but like, if it's a friend of yours and you're like, hey, yeah, I'm waiting for Evil Tim to come by, and Evil Tim rings the bell, it's like, bro, I get that you're evil and all, but geez, there are limits. I remember when I was a lad and my dad would come to pick me up to go and see him. He would always honk the horn, and then I'd go outside. This was also before the era of cell phones, so, you know, it was more common back then. But thinking about that now, just someone pulling up to the house and honking, I think I'd be scared, opposed to be like, oh yeah, my company's here. I'd be like, I gotta hide! They're after me! They saw my most recent post on social media, and they're going to end me. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can't even blame Evil Tim. I mean, I guess so. Sometimes Evil Tim is in the right, but sometimes Evil Tim is just evil. And ringing the bell, gotta call that evil. I mean, I guess if you're trying to get a hold of your friend and they're just not answering their phone, then yeah, sure, ring the bell. But if you send a text message and then they're like, yeah, hang on, I'm on the can, and then you go and ring the bell, like, okay, that's just being evil. like evil gang, evil gang, evil gang. Something like that happened to me once, but it was more of a comedic thing where it was a friend of mine who lived about 3 hours away, and they were coming to my city, and we were gonna go see a movie and like hang out. And then bro was like, "Hey, I'm leaving now," and I was like, "Gotcha! I just sat on the can." And they're like, "Oh, okay, cool. So by the time I pull up, you'll just be standing up." And I was like, "Yep." I used it on the wrong servant. Oh no. Oops. Well, I guess we have Super Artoria of the buff variety. Which one is it? Okay, so it's mine that has the buff. That really stinks. I mean, hey, maybe we'll get a max damage roll and it'll only be like a minute suckage. Or maybe we're gonna have like... Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Consarn it, man. So there's this song that's been stuck in my head lately. It's by a waifa and it's called Hurt. And it's a Jersey club mix by... I can do this. It's by Yami. It's from an album called Sampler 6. I'm gonna show it to you, but it's been like playing in my head nonstop lately. Like I've listened to it maybe 5 times today, which is a lot for me. Let's see here. Yeah, this one. It's gonna be really loud, so oops, I shouldn't have closed that tab. Cause yeah, Bandcamp sucks. It really does. If you're trying to use it as a music player. Oh my goodness. See what I mean? Like, it always plays everything at first at, like, max volume. Hang on while I pick the song now. There we go. There we go. Okay. Ouch.
I understand, don't say it again. You don't need to keep repeating yourself. You never
There we go, okay.
me like that.
Ow.
Either way, I'll keep on blaming myself. I just can't be around you right now.
But yeah, good old Jersey club mixes. We love Jersey club mixes.
Why can't you just act your age? It hurts a little more. Every time it hurts a little more.
So what made me think about this song, pause, I'm not going to talk over Peak Fiction, but what made me think about this song is that I ordered from a Lego store called All My Bricks, and I just got a notification saying that my order from All My Bricks just sent, and there's that one song, that says "All My Fellas," like da 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 da. It's like it's a Jersey club mix. So then that made me think of this, 1, 2, 3, 4, all of it together. And you say getting a brick stick, something like that. So I could finally, use it as a weapon, my Lego weapon. And then you said that AnimeCon I was talking about. I was talking about that Toho convention that one time. That's in June. And that's mostly just for the Toho content. But is that the one you were talking about?
I never planned to love you like this. Don't make me take it back, cause you're hard to forget. Can't even look at you right now. Bleeding my heart.
It just goes hard.
That's the first time in a long time when I'm being some space. And I haven't been home for days. It hurts a little more. Every time it hurts a little
For being 2 minutes long, I think it goes really hard.
if you really want me. Then just
You'd be down to travel. Then let's find an actually cool one. Wait until I get a bag. Once I have a bag, then we could definitely find like a one that we would both maybe like. Yeah, that song's just 2 minutes long. I wanted to hear it just real quick. There we go. Just because, you know, if we go to the Toho convention, one, last time we talked about it, you were like, yeah, I don't know too much about Toho. And it's like, it's not like you might not have any fun. You're just going to be surrounded by smelly nerds. And you're not going to be able to enjoy the actual enjoyable part as much, probably. You know what I mean? It's like, if I'm around smelly nerds, those are my people, dog. Like, other Toho fans, it's like, bruh, them's my people. We're all smelly and cringe. But to you, you wouldn't be like, oh, them's my people. It would just be like, man, these people are smelly and cringe. There was actually 3 conventions I kind of wanted to go to this year, and they're all happening on the same weekend, which is really unfortunate because I only really get to go to one, unless I want to have the worst day of my life. The worst week of my life. So there's the Toho convention that's that Saturday and Sunday. That's in California. And then there's a convention in New Jersey, and it's called KamehaCon. And I really enjoyed the one I went to in 2023. Like, it was a lot of fun. But, you know, it's happening that same weekend. And then there's also a convention that's called Chicago Brick Fest. And it's the biggest Lego convention in the world, apparently. And it happens that same week. Not the weekend. It starts that Wednesday and goes until that Sunday. But, you know, I wanted to try and go to that, but it's like I would have to pick one of those 3 or have a terrible time where it's like I go to the Chicago Brick Fest for like that Wednesday and Thursday, and then I fly to New Jersey that Friday, go to the DBZ Con that Saturday, fly to California Saturday, and then that Sunday go to one day of the Toho Fest, and then fly back home. So it would be like, we did the math last time, and if I flew the cheapest airline, it was only like, it was like $100 and something bucks, but that's flying Spirit the entire time. Like, I've never had a problem with Spirit, but a lot of people have. But again, not bad for flying from where I live, which is the Midwest, to the East Coast, to the West Coast, and then back to the Midwest. You know what I mean? Like, that's not bad. Considering, again, it's 3 different states I'd be going to. And then returning to my own, so that's like 4, you know? It's just, the timing of it all would be not fun for me. Because that would be like a couple of days in a hotel or whatever, a hostel, whatever I decide to stay in. And then I have to go fly, stay at another one for a day or 2, fly, stay at another one for a day or 2, fly, and then I go back home, and then I have to drive 3 hours back home. Well, maybe more like 2.5 hours. But it'd be like I go to a flight, and then I have to drive home. So no matter what, it's not fun. It's like another plane ride, honestly. So that's why this whole thinking about it thing has just been like a thinking about it if I was going to do all those things. It would be cool to get bricked up at a Lego convention, but I don't know if I want my first Lego convention to be the biggest one in the world. You know what I mean? Maybe start out small. But who knows? And you said the DBZ Con sounds pretty neat. So yeah, the one I went to was cool in 2023. But the problem is that they're moving to a new venue. They've always been in Texas, and now they're moving to New Jersey. And then, so there's that. And two, the guests they have, while they aren't bad, they're definitely not as interesting as it was the last one I went to. At least no one that I'm that interested in is going, as far as like voice actors and talent. But hey, that doesn't mean that it's going to be bad. It just means that the fun is going to have to come from like the actual like fan stuff, like the pop-up shops and like the fan community efforts, opposed to just meeting the voice of Trunks again and so on and so forth. And then you say dying from a Lego dinosaur falling on me. See, I'd be completely okay with that. The death I'm not okay with is getting overstimulated and exploding. Being like, whoa, look at that! And then my head just explodes. But also being honest, the big travel plan I had planned for this year was going to be to go to Germany, because I have a friend who lives in Germany, and I've been saying that we were going to have an offline meetup since like 2022, and every year I always come up with an excuse not to do it. So I was finally going to do it this year, but that doesn't mean I can't travel twice, because if I'm traveling within the States, then it's not going to really be that expensive. But I could also like, well, I don't know, if you wanted to find a convention of the northern variety, I could also try and go there. It really just hinges completely on the fact that I get a bag. Like, if I can't get a bag, if I can't make this get a bag Tuesday on Wednesday tomorrow, then like, you know what I mean? Because I'm kind of in a pickle when it comes to procuring the bag. But again, if I get it tomorrow, then like nothing to worry about. And even if I don't get it tomorrow, as long as I get a job at one of the like 20 places I've applied to over the weekend, then that's all that matters really. And hey, at least, you know, after 8 to 9 years, you were finally able to go to the land of the rising sun. You really said, don't let your dreams become memes. And then you asked if I pay rent. Not right now, because I don't have a bag. Like, I'm comedically broke. Me when I have one sand dollar. I feel like I've heard this song before. Not because I've heard the song before, but just that I've heard something with a really similar beat before. Shrug emoji. Oh, on a good news though, on a good note, to those who've been keeping up with the TheSelleri lore for the last 2 years, 3 years, 2 years. Well, whenever I got that surgery done, and like I was having, it was effectively just not well done, and the surgeon skipped town one day, and like for the last year I've been in remission, so to speak. It looks like, the specialist that I have to see every couple of weeks, they said that it looks like I'm finally looking like I'm in a good spot, so let's knock on wood. Knock on wood. I gotta go in like 2.5 months again, but hey, Fingers crossed we're finally going to get out of my health arc. My poor health arc. That due to my workout injury? No, I wish. At least that's cool. It's, yeah, long story short, without getting into the nasty patty, effectively I had something of evil growth that's been afflicting me for like the last 5 years, and then I finally ended up having to get a surgery to have it removed like 2 years ago. But the surgeon that did it really didn't do a great job, and yeah, that's not me even just trying to be mean from like a cosmetic perspective. They genuinely just did not do a good job, because despite their efforts, like, it just made the growth worse after they did the surgery, like factually worse and more painful. So then I had to start seeing, another specialist. Also, like I said, they just like skipped town one day. I wasn't even told. They're like, yeah, they just kind of disappeared. And it's like, dang, bro knew what they did. They knew they botched a surgery and just skipped town. Like, what year is this? Are we in the Wild West? I guess that's just how doctors work in Texas. But now that I'm not in Texas anymore, I feel like, I don't know. Especially the area I was at in Texas, I would have thought that surgeons would have been better. But maybe that's just how medicine is in Texas. But yeah, now that I don't have that going on anymore, and I went to a different professional in the home region, it's looking like things are finally on the up and up after a year of me having to go in every couple of weeks and receive various injections. And you know what? Maybe it was working, because when I was first getting those injections, like, I didn't feel anything at all in the side of my face. But then, after several, 8 months of various injections, I started to feel again. So, maybe that's the nerves returning and not being just a massive scar tissue and evil growth. Yeah, see, I believe that. One of those print your degree here created doctors. Build a dock, yes. Build a dock workshop. But I'm glad this happened, because if this didn't happen, so, getting a needle full of various different acidic compounds injected into the side of your face or several times also, isn't the most pleasurable experience. But the last couple of times that I had to get it done, it actually hurt for several hours later. They gave me the nasty juice. And they were saying that if I didn't see any improvement, the last time I went in, they'd say they were going to have to try a new serum. And they're like, yeah, this new serum, though, the only downside is that it's going to hurt a lot worse. And I'm like, oh, geez, it already doesn't feel great. What are you injecting me with, just battery acid? But yeah, luckily, it's not the case, dog. It's not the case. Things are hopefully going to work themselves out. And I don't have to worry about that. The health arc is hopefully finally coming to a close. Or I'm gonna die trying. There was this one time. Where time continued. Anyway. Yeah, I'm kind of losing. I don't want to say losing steam, but I'm glad this is a fast grind. I don't feel as motivated to keep grinding just because it's like, it's not a lotto and I'm using Apple. Somebody tap in. But, you know, no one can tap in. When you're stuck in the zone, there's no one to get you home. I actually need to check and see something really quick. I ordered from this guy a while ago. Yes, it was Lego pieces. But they still haven't shipped it, and it's actually been almost a full week. I kind of feel like I need to message them, but I'm also like, hey, you know, just trust in the technique, dog. Just trust in the technique. But I feel like you can only trust in the technique for so long before you just have to wonder if something's wrong. But if we go over, so let's see, when did I order this? I ordered it on March 12th, which was last Wednesday. And bro says that when we received your invoice, your order will be packed and ready to go and will be shipped within the 2 business days of when the payment is received. It's like shipping, whatever this, whatever that, yada yada this, and yada yada that. Oh, this isn't even that same guy. There was one guy that I ordered from and they said they only shipped Tuesday through Friday. This isn't even that guy. They're just not shipping my order for some reason. That's weird. I guess maybe I should message them. Oh no, this is that guy that ships Tuesday through Friday. Never mind. But that still doesn't make sense, because if I ordered it, if I ordered it on a Wednesday, that was still like Thursday, Friday, 2 days. That's 2 business days, and then Monday was yesterday. So now we're on like our 4th business day. Yeah, they said they do like invoices for shipping, but they never sent me one, and their site, like their storefront, they didn't have it. So let me rephrase that. Other people, when you go to buy and they say they'd only do shipping invoices, you just kind of send them a request, and then they send you an invoice and you pay that. That didn't happen. All I did was just pay. Like, it just took me straight to their pay screen, and that was that. And you say, can I get my money back? Yeah, I most definitely can. This person, though, has, according to this, they've made over 1,000 sales. So they should, know what they're doing. And assumably wouldn't be trying to like pull a fast one if they've completed over 1,000 sales. But maybe my $12 order was just so tasty that they're just not going to send it, and they're just going to keep the $12. They're like, what? $12 whole dollars from celery? Let's take this back to the bank. 1,000 seems good. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's on the site Bricklink, so it's all community based, you know. So like, they would lose their whole store and everything in theory if they were trying to pull a fast one. And again, the fast one that they would be trying to pull is not even like a good fast one. It's like just $12. Whatevs. I mean, I can send them a message. The worst thing they'll say is that I need to go jump off a bridge. And the best thing that'll happen is that they tell me to jump off a bridge, but politely. You know what I'm saying? Alright, cool. I've effectively finished what I care about for the grinding. There's just these two left, and I'm not really that hard up for archer pieces or ranza monuments, so this may be where I stop grinding. I don't know. What does it look like? How many mirrors do I have? Is there any item that drop here? Okay, I have 106 of these, 186 of these. I mean, I'm doing pretty good. Let's see. I mean, I want to contact them, but I'm not trying to start any problems either. You know, because it could just be maybe they're having a bad day. But that's not my responsibility either, like, actually. So looking at their entire history, it looks like they have 1,354 positive reviews, 26 neutral, and 17 bad. So they should, you know, be pretty amicable. Just easy to talk to. Yeah, I guess I'll send a contact. Like I always say, what's the worst that could happen? I get thrown off a bridge. Here's what I'll do. I'll give them 1 full week, so like Wednesday. I'll wait until then, because that'll be an actual full week. Since they say they only ship Tuesday through Friday anyway. Come Wednesday, 7 full days will have passed, and they would have had time to get together whatever they have to get together to do their shipping process. Me when I suffer the consequences of my actions. I still need to grind on this server too, but in all honesty, I'm not as hard up for items as I am just trying to finish the point ladder on this one. Well, now I can't stop thinking about that order. I've been trying to keep it out of mind, you know, out of sight and out of mind. But now that I've brought it up, I can't help but think that I'm gonna get yelled at by that guy. But then again, it's also all like, listen, dog, if you didn't want me to pay for shipping up front, you should have disabled it on your store. You think they're probably just chilling? See, it could be that, but their whole thing is that they invoice you for shipping. But when I bought it, it charged me $5 up front for shipping. So, you know, in theory, they're gonna make me pay shipping twice, which I'm highly against. So that's why I'm also all like, I wonder if maybe their store wasn't set up, like maybe they had a setting off that wasn't supposed to be off. Because the order was only $7 by itself. It was then made $12 by $5 of shipping, which no big deal. But it's like, if I wasn't supposed to be charged for shipping up front, then like, why was I? If that's not supposed to be how it is, why was it how it is? Listen, I don't know what's going on anymore. I don't make the rules, I just suffer the consequences of the rules. Me with anxiety. I'm sure it'll all work itself out, and if it doesn't work itself out, at least it was only $12 and not $120. You know what I mean? Me in tears. You know what I mean? Hey, the alert command. That's like the third time it's ever been done. We love to see it. I hate Google's new Google Gemini thing. It keeps popping up on its own. I'll just be like talking, and then all of a sudden it just wants to chime in. It's like, bro, no one asked you. This is, I think, the second time that's happened today. I just kind of have my phone unlocked, and it's just sitting on the desk. And then it just keeps hearing. Can I disable Google Gemini? Google Gemini. Is that a thing? Or is it just always active all the time? It sure feels like it's just always active all the time. Yay! Big day for guys like me. We'd love to see it. Bond 14. Ever more clean. Now time for the home stretch. Bond 15. The last stage. Well, that's a pretty high note to end off on, so I think we're going to call it there for the day. That's enough of our play, I do say. So let's see here. Yeah, we can go ahead and we can do that one thing I usually don't do. Not because I'm evil, but just because, I don't know, I usually just kind of forget it's a thing. We can use that there raid command here. So you don't have to stop rocking on my account. Here, you can check out this other person who seems to be playing the same game I was just playing. And they were doing the same thing I was just doing, except they're doing it just on the NA server and not the JP server. So yeah, we'll go say hi to this individual. But as per usual, you know, I thank you all for coming out. You can't see it, but I'm making a heart with my hands. You know why? Because I heart you, yes you, for coming all the way through. And while you can't see my hand heart, you can heart this hand emoji right here. Triple time over. So yeah, I'll see you later, alligators, and after a while, you crocodiles.